All right, I'm back. This is October 13th. This is now the afternoon. If you saw the video, it was what was going on, yeah, in the morning. And um, yeah, there's a reason why I'll explain in another video, uh, but I'll reiterate on this video, and I'll probably say that in every video from now on. I have the top three rules, at least for me. Um, it's watch your sizing. So what that means is depending on your account, you need to watch what you're willing to risk. So if you're doing like uh, a prop account, and you have a small account, then one contract is enough. What ends up happening is they can shake you out before the play actually happens. And a lot of times it's, when you have too much size, there might be too much emotion. So that right there will keep you safe in the game and looking for the bigger picture. The second thing is always enter near a level. If you pair entering with the level, which is rule number 2, with rule number 3, know what time it is. These levels can be magic, and so that's where I'm going to reiterate in the afternoon session. So you'll see that I think in the morning session I was bearish. Now that we were like, we came up here, we could not clear that 445, and why? Because look at this left. The 445 was Wednesday's support. And so could not clear that. Came back this 30-minute candle below the 400, which is your bull pivot, which is right here. And then, but you can see that in the morning, anytime you have a failed breakdown, and failed breakdown is a solid candle and then a candle retraces back above, and then of course you could see that it ended up going further. I mean, if it just came back up and then came back down, then that's some whiplash and step back to reassess. But if you see this, then that they're defending this area. And why I say that is, look, they defended it again, and then you're in between this, so it's chopped. Now when they come down here, what do? They break it again, but they cannot clear that low. So look what ends up happening right at 12 o'clock. They opened it above the bull pivot. What's the same thing that happens at 8:30 Central Time? They open it above and they shot it up. So remember, new TPO and new time period, meaning it's the afternoon session, just like the morning session. So they have defended, and this is now your support. So look, it comes down, it retraces a little bit, taps the 330 area, and then within 10 minutes, these two 5-minute candles, it shot all the way back up to the 400. Now, when that happens, you can almost, you can almost guarantee that it's not coming back down. I won't say it's a double bottom, but twice they defended this. If they were to come back down, they need to blow through this, and if they don't, then they're holding it for the session. So now this is defining. If you sort of notice what's going on right here, this area, this is where you're at. So when you're trading right here, you're trading in the middle between the entire session. So it could go one or two different ways. So you have to identify your support and your resistance. So we did the intraday resistance. Where was it? It was right here. It was at 400. So what ends up happening? They shot it up. They didn't close it below. They came back, and now it's trapped between this level and VWAP. And then when they finally made it over and they came up to here, you can now say that this is now support. So the rest of the day, all they did was consolidated in this flag formation. They came down, they shot it down, and this wick right here, you could see right at the last, actually it was right at the beginning of the new TPO, the last hour, they shot it down and then they reversed it and they came right here. And this is where it's dangerous. What they ended up doing is sweeping all these shorts and then coming back down. So what is this? A failed breakout reversal again. So it's twice that you see that these candles could not close. You see how the 30 minutes, the overlay, it's even better to look at the actual 30-minute candles right here. So they could not close above that 450. So once again, that tells me that that's a really good resistance. They have now they do not want to close above that. They're telling you that. I mean, and so that's why this is really difficult. You do not want to be chasing breakouts like this. If anything, you should have got in right here thinking that they're going to pull back and then come back up. But when you see, once again, a candle, a full candle, 5-minute candle, and then it retraces the full 5-minute candle, that is not good. And you want to be careful. And here's the thing, what's difficult about afternoon trading is you don't know when they're going to make the move. So look right here, that last 30 minutes, they took a long time. They could have held this thing. I was expecting them to drop down and come back up and basically hold right in here. But they ended the last 5 minutes, was right here. They ended up breaking this. So now what do you see? So you had a consolidation break. Now, not to say this is not perfect. You'll see this tomorrow. That what's gonna happen if they gap it up above the 450, then now this is a failed breakout, failed breakdown of this pattern. So anytime you have the breakdown happen right here at 435, 440, you see how it broke out of here. So this is now I really need this zone right here. It's going to be this zone right here that needs to hold. Actually, you know, now that it's sort of established, it's probably this zone. But this 450 area is going to be the center part of it. So anything, you'll know whether this actually breaks out or not, because there's going to be volume. It'll be fast. You know, they'll break above and then they'll just keep push. You know, but I've seen this too many times where I think they're, in my opinion, that they might end up opening right here and then dropping it. Or if they end up opening below the 400, what is that? They're opening below the bull pivot. So if they end up doing that, where can this go? Okay, so this is for the rest of the week. You need to start building a plan of what are super important areas. So this right here is what you considered your gap. It's a value gap. It opened right here, shot up. They started filling in that gap right here, but it wasn't complete. So now use this as a support, and it's a gap. So if it ends up coming and breaking this 310 area, now they're going to fill this gap. But in reality, if they end up filling this gap and then breaking that 465, now that's not good. But you see the pattern that's going on. They're 50 point highs. So right from here to here is 50 points. From here to here is 50 points. So it's a lower high, higher low. So what could end up happening is this right here tomorrow. If they don't end up opening above the 450 and they end up opening it below the 400, or really they just open below the 440, then you're in the previous days, which is today's range territory. So let's say, for instance, I'm going to go in and I'm going to draw a zone. Let's see a polygon. Here we go. This, mark my word, you will see this. This is what you would be playing in tomorrow if they cannot clear 450. Oops. Clear meaning closed candle, retesting, holding, and then reversing. So what they'll be doing, and they could end up opening up, flushing down into the 300 area, and then the rest of the afternoon, slowly grinding back up to right here, or they can end up in the morning chopping, then dropping, and then it could be all over the place. But the moment they end up breaking this 300 areas and holding below, a 30-minute close below this trend line, then we're in potential. It's made its potential direction for the rest of the week. So you cannot get ahead of yourself. I've screwed my counts so many times by trying to time it. All you can do is go in for scalps when you see that there's scalps, as in this right here is potential scalps. And then when you have breakouts like this, then you hold for bigger pictures. So you got to know when you're in a consolidation mode and when you're in a trend mode. And right now we are in a upward consolidation mode. Friday was even a consolidation. We could not clear past that Thursday candle, morning candle. So you go up and down, even though there was range. Today we went up and we went down, we went back up. So you have to know where your support and resistance are. So this was an amazing day if you're able to see this and just really understand the big areas of interest. Because this right here, let's take a look at the morning. If you saw the morning play, morning video, you saw that this was, you got 100 points first 15 minutes, and then within the next 30-minute candle, you had another 100 points, and then you had some 50-point moves, and then you had the afternoon play, which would have been right here. You can see at 12 o'clock. And this is what ended up when I say confusing me. I got blinded, and that's why you always have to be switching your mindset of where, and very aware of where the price is according to the levels. Because hindsight, this looks super easy, but look at this. I mean, you had a break below, it was holding. This was that low, the low of the day. It could not clear, and then new period, afternoon, and new TPO was right here. So you had a consolidation above, so you could have just gone long anytime it came back below, and then holding. So that's what I mean by size. If you only had one contract, wouldn't want to hurt you if you ended up getting stopped out right here. But the fact that if you would have held it, for even all the way up to here, that would have been 330 to 410. I mean, almost an 80-point move. That's pretty big. And then it basically came back. This was that sort of a half back, and then it completed the move the rest of the day, or the rest of that first hour. So the other point is when you see that it's actually established some kind of low, when the morning is up in the afternoon, just remember where are you? If we were below when it opened, then I would be inclined to go for the downside. If we are opening above, go long. You would have been done if you weren't done here or done any of in here. You should have been done for the day here. Other than that, you got to look at where your risk reward is. How much more room do you have? How much more points? And yes, this is a lot of points right here, but you see that it took the entire day and it was going up and down, up and down, up and down. So if you weren't taking quick profits, you would have got stopped out and they would have reversed. So yeah, that's how I would play the rest of, or at least tomorrow. Remember, FOMC is on Wednesday. So I would not be surprised if they end up not breaking out come Wednesday. Then what you're going to be seeing is this: they will stay in this little area, and what a lot of times you'll see box plays on FOMC. There's no guarantee that it'll happen, but a lot of times you'll stay within this range. It'll be between the bull and bear pivot. So if that happens on this day, they're gonna box it in until the very until I think 1 o'clock or 1:30, and then the volatility will happen, and then you'll have 200-point moves. But I would not. I don't necessarily trade volatility very well because like you have to play with just only one contract, and there's so many other easy days and easy points to play. I'm probably just going to play Wednesday morning and then walk away. So anyways, yeah, that is the plan. You will see what happens tomorrow and the next day, but just keep in mind that just like the previous week, respect where things are at when it comes to the multi-day pivots, because we could have another incident like this where you basically were consolidating around the bull and then you had a -1 ATR move. So that is possible where you have a -1. Look at this line. That's 685. If you watch the weekly video, that was a very important spot that I'm looking at. I don't know where I came up with that. I think it was was either pivot or it was like a support or resistance like months ago. So surprisingly, it correlated with nicely with this -1 ATR, but it doesn't have to do that. Do not get short-sighted and biased. But if that does happen, I would not expect us to drop any further, next week, because before some kind of pullback, because you have 1, 2, 3, and then after that third, you usually have some kind of like consolidation, and then and before another move. So, anyways, play it safe. Watch this. This is super important. I mean, today proved that what's going on. I mean, I told you, in the last videos where the resistance is, and it held it pretty well. That doesn't, when I say held it pretty well, doesn't mean that it's going to like play within your zone, but on a 30-minute graph, it actually did. It never closed above that. So, all right, until the next video.